Good morning, guys. We have made it to K-Hart. This is one of their facilities up by Winnipeg. I'm here with Arvinder.
Yep.
Thanks for having me, Arvinder. Really excited to learn more about K-Hart and see what you guys do, especially with this Spyder drill that you guys have.
We're glad to have you here, Jesse, and thanks for visiting. I think for taking the time to do it. So this area of the shop is more for engineers. So this is where we have shelves and a workspace for R&D. So this is where like engineers will order parts and they'll trial fit them, and in some cases they test the functionality. And we've got an opener on stand that we use to just try different components on.
Always got to have an area for R&D. Engineers can come out, work with their hands, try things, do some quick pass-fail stuff, see what works, what doesn't.
Yeah, and right here you can see a test rotor for the Raptor header. We filed a patent on an easy remove steel finger for the Raptor. So this is what we use to try out the fingers and iterate them until we like them the best. On our competitors' design today, you end up having to remove these bolts completely when you're taking a finger out for service. But the idea here is that you just loosen these bolts and you're able to slide the stainless finger out. And if you loosen the bolt, it's a two-stage process. If you loosen the bolt more, then you can also take the plastic finger out. But the bolt always stays in the hole. Our engineering team has done a great job of coming up with this idea where you can take the fingers out, and they've got stops in place so you know the finger's in the right spot.
How many RPM does this spin inside that header?
It can go from 450 to about 750 to 770.
K-Hart is known for helping make maintenance easier and have less downtime. So definitely a neat feature here that they've patented, and it's going to make a real difference to customers when they take these headers and need to service them after some acres of use. They're kind of in transition, so they're switching production and kitting these maintenance-free bearing disc assemblies and getting ready to send out to all the customers.
These are our welding boots. We've got about 8 of them. On this side, we've got a crane to handle bigger components, and on the right side here, they're more for the smaller components. Right now, we're in the process of welding the header component. We've started on that. These are gauge wheel weldments for the Raptor headers. This is typically how we did fixtures before. You can kind of see that there's a decent sized fixture that we have to store outside, and this fixture is for welding the caster support arms for Spyders. And you can see that we've just loaded components to start welding on those.
Doing manufacturing, especially for big drills, there's a lot of weldmen, and even this header project that they're coming out with. You can have a whole yard full of fixturing. And so with the fixturing, this modular fixturing really saves space and helps them be more adaptable and flexible.
We've got a small machine shop, and we mostly use our machine shop to make fixturing parts. And sometimes we use machine shop to fix stuff, like if something's not quite welded right or some parts came in out of spec and stuff. Sometimes we'll have parts for frames that are big, but they're not a huge quantity parts. We end up building those in-house.
This is a big thing nowadays, right? You guys are switching from the greasable bearing hub assembly to this new greaseless design, which is going to be really nice for less maintenance time and costs.
Yeah, we're very excited about that. We've been looking at that for the last few years, and we were very happy to finally switch and give our customers that feature so they don't have to grease the bearings every 25 to 30 hours. We used to actually just assemble openers and palletize openers and send like pallets of 14 openers each to Chanel, and then they would make the bank assemblies. So we had a lot of transportation involved, a lot of like packaging involved. But this year we've started putting the banks together in-house, and it's been a very good project for us.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
I'm Jesse.
Jesse? Russ.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you. You got the right hair color, so.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. Someone who can appreciate the red hair. Yes. Very good.
Yeah.
There's not many of us left, you know.
Yeah. I agree.
So this is the main design center of K-Hart.
Yeah.
And then welding and assembly, and then the final machine assembly happens down in Winkler. So here they're actually putting together the K-Hart gent undercut opener, right?
That's right. Yeah. These openers, they're missing the disc leg assembly, but otherwise they're mostly complete.
One thing that I've learned over time is that the K-Hart opener is very simple. There's just, some main weldments that go into this, but overall there's not a ton of moving components. So definitely nice for quicker assembly, less maintenance. It's just a simpler design overall.
As a company, that's our goal, to keep things as simple as possible. We believe that if there is less components, there's less to go wrong on a machine. When we go to shows and stuff, a lot of people will look at this opener and go, there's not enough components on it, so it probably doesn't do what everyone else can do, which we get that quite often. But after we go through the explanation that yes, this opener not only can do what the other openers do, but it'll do it'll better.
Well, we made it to the second location here. Arvinder met me here. We're going to check out the actual final assembly of the K-Hart drill. So let's get inside.
So in this building, there are two sides here, kind of similar to K-Hart. This side is welding and the other side is assembly.
So they're actually making the frame sections right now.
Yeah, so these are the wings, and then we've got the rail weldments and crossover weldments. And at the end there, you can see a wing that's pretty close to being finished.
This thing's huge.
Yeah, that is big. Yeah, that one there is even bigger.
This would be a center section weldment for 74-foot machines.
So this is the biggest of the big.
This is the biggest of the big, yeah.
If you weren't wondering how beefy this is, just take a look at these plates. That's got to be what?
2 inches.
2 inch thick plates.
And, there's lots of 3/4 and 1 inch steel on this frame. The tubing is 12 by 5/8. 12 by 8 by 5/8 wall.
Wow.
It's beefy.
Arvinder has been the main designer of these machines from the beginning, so he can spot out all the little different intricacies of them and can just tell what they are. So it is really loud in here. There's a lot of activity going on. There's 100 employees that work at this facility, so it is a happening place. It's like a beehive of activity. So is this our machine?
This is your machine.
This is our machine. Oh, it's so pretty. All right, 3-section frame design versus the bigger machines have 2 more wings, 1 on each side, so they can do the true spider fold.
Spider design is pretty modular. Like when you go to a 60-foot, let's say, the center section and wings stay very much the same. We just have a slightly different wing configuration, and it comes with the pivot or the hinge for outer wings. So it's a pretty easy transition for us to go from a 40 to 60. In terms of assembly, they're not very different.
So one thing that I really like about these spider drills, all stainless tubes here, stainless towers, so not going to have corrosion over time. And they're wrapping up, putting up the banks or the ranks of the row units. So they're taking the stands out of here. You can see assembly stands. And they're going to be now routing the primary hoses and secondaries going to each row. Even though this is only a 40-foot machine, you can tell it is very well built. And I just love seeing some of these big tires on here. Definitely some good flotation you're going to get out of that, considering the weight it needs to carry and what it needs to do across the field. So one thing that you'll notice here is that these openers are quite low and they're assembled up high. This gives you a good idea just how good the ground following can be. So what would the total travel range be on the openers on this machine, would you say?
So the total travel range is 24 inches up and down on the banks, and then there's 10 inches of spring travel on the opener. So let's say the openers are 13 inches off the ground in transport position. They can go down, touch the ground, and then they can go further down below the frame by about 11 inches. So from touching the ground, they can go up about 23 inches and down 11 inches. We've got the rear row that can walk back 12 inches just to give you a better access to the front row. And we've got a patent on that design. And we've got a patent on the way the Spyder folds and just the way the rear row can walk back to give you more access to get into the front row.
So right now, these machines are so big, they are bay building them. And when they get them all complete, they'll run through the cycles of the hydraulics and make sure everything's working and clearing. And then they will pull them outside. And right now we have a 60-foot machine being built. You can see that coming together here. They were just tightening these fasteners before they went on break. But a lot of hardware, a lot of fasteners that go into putting all these big frame sections together.
This machine's got the option of rock guards and premium spring scrapers. The spring-loaded scrapers here.
Oh, wow. Is this new for 2026?
Yeah, we released this design last year, so it is a fairly new design. Spring scraper design works particularly well in heavy clay soil.
Here we got sub-assembled towers ready to go on the machine here that's being built. And so they've got a lot of assemblies that they're working on, including the banks of rows that are already done. So this thing, once it gets all pinned together, things go on pretty quick. This looks like a big gooseneck.
We wanted to keep that pivot as low as possible, but also wanted to go around the IRCs, like the fertilizer openers, just to reduce the amount of offset there is between the hitch pulling.
Oh, and so get some bending moment arm on.
Yep, on going onto the frame. I remember spending a lot of time on this weld as a designer because it's probably the most loaded weld on a whole machine.
Yeah.
Ends up taking all of the draft load and basically all of the transport loads and stuff. Everything goes through there.
All 800 plus horsepower that could be pulling this thing, right?
Yeah.
So this is a huge tube that's welded in here, multiple passes, fully reinforced.
That's a 1-inch thick weld.
Wow.
Every single welded joint on this frame is fully analyzed for fatigue.
Well, thank you, Arvinder, for showing us around this facility. It is amazing what you guys are doing here, right here in Canada. And we're excited for this 40-foot machine that is going to Oklahoma very soon for spring planting. If you guys are interested in the K-Hart Spyder Drill, give us a shout, give us a call. We'd be happy to help you understand that this drill is a great machine for your operation. Thanks again, Arvinder, for the time. It's been great to connect again and see this beautiful machine that we're going to have very soon. It is a balmy 7 below zero up here in Manitoba, Canada, and we're with Ray and Rob, and they just purchased a 66-foot K-Hart Spyder Drill. Tell us a little bit about your family, your farm history, stuff like that.
We celebrated 125 years about 6 years ago on the family farm, so pretty exciting. And yeah, Red River clay gumbo, so we've always been hoe drills. But now with this unique machine, I think this might be a fit for our heavy soil. So we're pretty excited to give her a try.
How many generations of farming?
This is a third generation.
What machine spacing is this, and what are some things that you're going to be doing differently with this machine over the last machine?
Well, this one is a 66-foot, 7.5-inch spacing. So our current machine was a PSD, so a 15-inch paired row. And our goal with this machine is maybe to try and move a little less soil and conserve a bit of moisture. You know, the hoe drills have always worked excellent in our area, but we've been a little bit on a drier cycle, so we're just trying to maybe conserve a little bit more moisture and move a little less soil. Well, the nice thing too, I said I'm never buying one till they go greaseless, and they went to the greaseless now, so hopefully it's robust enough that it'll do the job.
What Rob's talking about here is they used to have a greasable hub, and now they've switched to a greaseless maintenance-free bearing, and you have the double disc opener assembly. You've got the smaller 15-inch and then the 17-inch disc here, and so that really helps cut that tough residue, that tough trash
Well, I would think it would help for that and help in dry conditions to stop that soil from dropping back into that seed row, right? Which is a problem here in when it's really dry. The soil gets very fine and it likes to fall back into the seed row. So I think that'll be a strong advantage over some of the other disc drill companies here.
I like how the row units look like they're simple and well built. They look strong, and the toolbar itself is quite beefy, and it's got the proper wheels to support it.
And you guys are going to be doing some liquid application as well with the mid-row banders, correct?
Yeah, we put, so most of our, 90% of our nitrogen will go in a liquid form, just with 28. So this gives us a really nice option for that too. Like, I mean, dry would be fine too, but this is a really good option for us, and we can do both. So we also got them to put the liquid tube on the seed row. So if we want to run any micro fertilizers in the seed row or anything like a starter, we have that option too. So the toolbar is set up for many different options, which is a nice setup. So that's a nice option too on this machine. Well, it's not an option, it's standard, but versus the other manufacturers. So when you're making your turns, your discs are going to turn a little bit, makes it easier, for your side draft.
For ground following.
Yes, yeah, and easier on the row unit too. You're not pushing it hard.
Look at how much room there is to get in these machines. And one thing that I always like too is this can pivot apart in maintenance mode.
Yes.
And you can get right in there, easy access. Yeah, we got some large transport wheels, mainframe wheels to support all the weight going on with this large machine.
And I think an advantage too, from what I heard, going to the 7.5-inch spacing, when you're seating and you got your downforce down, you're actually going to be running lighter than say a machine with 10-inch spacing because you have more row units down supporting the machine. So, guys are concerned about the weight, but I think it's distributed properly this way with all the tires and the packers.
So yeah, definitely a nice looking machine here. It's been great to stop by, visit these guys. Thanks, guys.
No problem. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Make sure you like and subscribe to keep up on all the fresh content posted weekly, which includes helpful tips and tricks, new products, and various adventures. Also, make sure you check out Reddy's website to shop our performance air seeder solutions.